Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. I hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far, and a very entertaining day of Call of Duty has just concluded. Two very interesting matches indeed, the first one of which an absolute blockbuster Game 5 round left in fashion, the second one of which though very interesting for other reasons, namely to do with potential roster changes these teams may be making going forwards. This really is getting to crunch time of the season. If your team is not performing now, where's the guarantee it's going to perform in the latter half of the season? Definitely intrigued to hear your thoughts on this stuff in the comment section below. Like if you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe if you are new as always, I'd greatly appreciate it. It really helps out the channel. Thank you very much indeed for doing that. Let's get into things then. I wanted to mention this first of all from COD Gamepedia. They tweeted out before the matches started they were having difficulties finding volunteers to do their match updates on Twitter. So the website and stuff is well, not having any issues or anything, but if you guys are interested, maybe reach out to COD_Gamepedia if you are interested in helping get your foot in the door. I helped out a little bit on their website and some other stuff way back in the day, and that kind of helped me to some degree at least get to where I am and build some sort of network within the community. So I thought I'd just mention that. These are a great bunch of lads over there that put a load of their time on volunteer work effectively into making the scene what it can potentially be. If you'd like to help them out or get involved, well, the opportunity is available. I'll leave the link in the description box below. This first of all from Methods, right, kind of tweeting about the fact that unfortunately he's not going to be able to compete today, and that was really one of the key storylines in this Toronto Ultra versus Los Angeles Thieves matchup. This is the first time we are seeing this new Toronto Ultra inbound. These were the two matchups of the day versus LA Thieves, and then the second series Legion versus the Minnesota Rokkr. So they do finally announce what the actual roster is going to be for Toronto. They've done no explanation, actually, of why they made this change. The coach and, of course, Mark UE didn't come out. They didn't really make any decision, apart from, well, they didn't make any decision public, at least, as to why they've made this change. But, well, as we'll see, it seems to have been, well, certainly insight coming into the team does not seem to be a bad move. But the roster change they did make, the fact that the ARs are the ones being switched out, is certainly the question mark, as we will see right here. These are the stats the CDL put up on stream before the game's actually kicked off. You can see Methods with a pretty respectable stat line overall. But, well, insights could not be messed with in this series. As Jacob says, hey colleague, how are we going to fumble the opportunity to put TJHaLy side by side? They certainly do look very similar indeed, and this is how the match started up. So Los Angeles Thieves win the game 1 on Garrison Hardpoint, 250-183, looked relatively comfortable to be honest for them. TJ had a great, well, he had a great like 5-piece over by the green area, which was super impactful for them, but Slasher had a great map here actually at, what did he finish? 32 in 25 with a load of hill time to boot as well. Then we go into the Search and Destroy, a map that has certainly been pretty good for the Toronto Ultra so far this season, that being Raid. This that Miles mentions points out right here, I mean, insight using this line between the tree. I'm not sure if you could do this back in Black Ops 2, I don't really remember people using it. I've seen a couple of people do it in like Pro 8 and stuff like that, I believe already, but yeah, certainly an angle that he used to his advantage. And then at the Search and Destroy, they do manage to close out a couple of great rounds. I think CleanX had a nice little 1v2 as well, as Kenny tried to fly out with the SMG. Now on this new role actually, so Thieves have changed up their roles somewhat. Kenny's on this kind of SMG role now in addition to TJ, and Temp is effectively using the Flex, with Slasher of course still as the main assault rifle. So interesting change. Not exactly sure they looked phenomenal with it. There's definitely still some work to be done for the Thieves and for the Ultra as well, but a very tight series, very difficult to match between these teams or pick between these teams at the present time. This came out as well. If you guys are pointing this out to me, I'm not exactly sure what's going on here. I imagine it's some sort of stream glitch, but as you can see, like Temp's gun right here like completely snaps up towards the bedroom as he goes for the wall bang. So very coincidental timing, right? Looks like he might be having some sort of wall hack situation going on here. But I do remember it. If you actually look at the minimap, you can see it like skips somewhat. So definitely there was some sort of stream delay here rather than his aim is just snapping like this. But I think this happened actually not too long ago. If you guys are interested, I thought I would at least mention it because Loony, this happened on stream. This is his perspective at least here on Checkmate quite a while ago now. I think this is like middle of February or something. But as you can see on stream right here, Loony like snaps up to this guy as if he's got some sort of wall hack situation. But for some reason the stream is dodgy from time to time and it makes things look like they're happening, which I certainly do imagine they are not. But they do end up winning that map. And then as Octane says, no Zinni, no Winnie, right? This whole idea that, okay, Methods being gone for the team, Inside didn't have the greatest control, therefore, okay, like this team is going to fall down the pecking order somewhat. However, Inside definitely had some words for Octane coming into this map number 4, because Checkmate Hardpoint was an absolute blockbuster performance from him. The 11 streak we'll have a look at in a second, and Rambo tweets this out at the same time. Was there any reasoning given by Toronto management? So it seemed like, to be honest, they went down 2-0 in the series, and everyone was kind of questioning the decision, or 2-1 in the series, sorry. Everyone was questioning the decision to get rid of Methods and bring Insight in, but then he certainly, well, showed that he can compete with the best of them. This in the Hardpoint there was pretty remarkable, to be honest. He goes on this incredible 11 streak on Checkmate, and as you can see, early on this game was close, 107-96, 77. He gets like a number of kills over towards this final hill, then rotates back to new, picks up a 74U, and is dealing out damage with that one as well. So massive series from Insight on the whole, and this second hardpoint as well was phenomenal. I think he went double positive, we'll have a look at that in a second, and his duo CleanX, right, from the Singularity squad, if you guys aren't familiar with that, way back in the day in Black Ops 4, the World Championships, both of those guys showed up pretty big on Singularity at the time. They had a great series up against Team Envy, as it was Ake's squad, that kind of put CleanX's name especially on the map. But honestly, if it wasn't for that crazy like 6-piece he got on at Arsenal hardpoint, I believe it was, against Team Envy at the time, he probably wouldn't have been picked up last season onto Ultra. It was just that one moment that really got his chance. And then this season, they're looking for a substitute. CleanX is probably like, look, my mate Insight from that squad, we got to get him in. And well, he was putting on an absolute clinic right here. But clearly, as we see this series finish out, it's not necessarily the assault rifle solution that was actually the issue on this squad. So, but the chemistry certainly seemed to be there between these two players on this map. Insight had a phenomenal one, certainly. And well, as Octane says, Zinny, can I get your thoughts going into this Game 5? He reckons an Ultra W didn't exactly work out like that, though. Goes all the way to Game 5. I mean, Machilla mentions it right here. Insight had a free 1v3. Wasn't necessarily free, but he got 2 kills, and it seemed like they really gifted him the rounds, and then he decides to do the hop-up, and TJ manages to take it down. We actually see it in a little bit more detail right here. But Insight is on the heady. I mean, T takes down Cammy from range, and then, well, Kenny decides to peek out right here. Slasher comes in for the trade. Doesn't work out for him. And then, well, he's looking for TJ, the last guy. It's a really tough spot, obviously, because Insight's super weak. Tries to get a nice timing on him, but TJ takes him down and wins the round. Moves up 4-1 in the map, and it looks like, okay, that was the chance, right, for Ultra to come back into it. If they make that work, then probably they can start some sort of comeback. But, well, it starts to happen regardless, and this is where the collapse begins once again, really, for the Los Angeles Thieves. We've seen this a couple of times already this season against the Los Angeles Guerrillas, for example, on that raid. They went up 5-2, they end up losing the map, and we nearly see it here once again. Insight went absolutely off. There was a crazy round. They had like a 2 versus 4. This was to pretty much put them back to bed for Los Angeles Thieves, and they somehow clutched it up. Insight was absolutely going off, as Octane's talking about right here. Someone help Insight as he spells it wrong. The breakdown, oh my god, this was the 2 versus 4 that Thieves managed to throw away. And well, right at the end right here, so Ultra end up going 5-4 after going down 4-1 at the start, and then Insight gets almost gifted a 1 versus 3. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Like, TJ gets taken down, Slasher's just running in. I imagine there must have been some miscommunication with Temp here, because, I mean, Slasher's a smart enough player not to just run in there and throw away his life, so maybe Temp said something different, or maybe there was just some lack of communication, or maybe Slasher did just make an absolute brain-dead play, but they almost gift it to Insight. I mean, Temp manages to take the kill. It felt like something was going to happen. I mean, this was his 18th one. That was, I believe, the kill record so far. And he finishes off this map with 3,800 damage. Like, that is the damage record, I believe, so far this season. I think Kenny had 16 kills and like 3,300 damage or something on this map earlier on this season. But Insight was absolutely going off, putting the team on his back. But it just isn't enough. As Octane says, the most absurd Game 5 I think I've ever seen. The absolute breakdown. And as you can see, these are the overall series stats. But Insight drops 3,800 damage in search, 18 kills on Miami Search and Destroy to no avail, 106 over the series. But the question certainly has to be raised, right? Look, Insight for methods, was this actually the change you need to make? Because Insight has like a god tier series, going to be difficult for him to match that series in future, I'm sure. Like a fantastic debut from him, certainly, but even then, it still isn't enough to win this series. And Kenny, you imagine with the SMG, maybe he gets a little bit more comfortable over time. Slasher has a pretty good series as well. TJ certainly turned up when it matters in some of those maps. But yeah, Game 5 round 11, I mean, it was such a sloppy Search and Destroy. Thieves close out in probably one of the worst Search and Destroy map 5 victories I think I've ever seen. Like, it was so sloppy. Yeah, it wasn't great from either squad. And again, especially we look at Bance right here, 4-9 in that final map. I mean, he only had like 800 damage compared to Insight having 3,000 damage more than him in that map. So certainly you look at this Ultra team and you think, look, this change, Insight coming into the team, this kid looks absolutely spectacular. But was that actually the change that improved this team, right? You still look at the SMG line, you see some inconsistencies, and you're wondering, okay, like, what can this team do going forwards? And Thieves just about managed to clutch him. I mean, it wasn't a great one. As Kenny says, you know, our comms are absolutely trash. GG's Toronto, we won 3-2 in this one. And again, this from Zinx as well. Glad more and more AMs are getting picked up. Can't think of a single one that's gone in and hasn't shut people down. And Chino says he's calling you out. Lana's a different ball game, but I wouldn't expect him to know that. I'm playing on different spawns in official matches. Slasher, of course, talking about this issue once again that we have had. He says right here, GG's Toronto, same mistakes and communication errors keep occurring, which is why we are so unbelievably hit or miss. No Zinni Prestinni no Winnie, also saying a prayer every night before bed that I get the chance to actually practice on servers I play in official matches. This has been an issue we've talked about for a while now, but yeah, pretty incredible stuff. No comms, just bloods, says Karma. But yeah, we'll have to see how Thieves do going forwards, because very interesting series. They kind of threw it away. I'm not really sure they deserve to win it, to be honest. I mean, Ultra looked very solid at times, but both very inconsistent teams. You never really know when one of them's going to completely throw away a map. They both tried to throw away this map, to be honest, but Thieves close it out, and you can't help but think that a couple of more bad results for Thieves here. The inconsistency is starting to show. Roster changes have got to be being considered over there, because to me it doesn't look like they're championship contenders, and if you're Los Angeles Thieves, that's kind of what you were designed to be. The second series of the day then was Legion versus Rokkr. Definitely a much quicker series, but still a very interesting one regardless. Map number 1, 252-16. Paris come out hot. A really interesting hardpoint here actually on raid, because as easyMac points out right here, there were 5 hills where one team didn't even get a single point. Basically, none of the teams could seem to break a hill to save their lives, and well, both teams just completely dominate all those hardpoints. That's why there was like no engagements the entire map, it felt like. And well, Paris closed it out. Then we go to a Search and Destroy, and here we go. Like, okay, look, Rokkr haven't been good in hardpoint, but Search and Destroy has kind of been their bread and butter. We see right here, Accuracy gets a nice 3-piece, reminiscent, you guys might remember, I think it was New Orleans way back in World War II. He snuck up behind all 3 of them. I don't know who they were playing at the time, but it was on St. Marie Dumont, and he came up behind everyone with a PPSH and shot 3 guys in the back. It was kind of reminiscent of that. And well, Accuracy gets the job done. Okay, gets the 3Ps. Okay, Minnesota back in the series. They're going to close out this Miami, and then they go on to actually give Paris a good run for their money. However, it doesn't happen. Another full collapse in Search and Destroy. You cannot make this stuff up. As well, Aqua drops a 2.4 KD, 12 in 5. They bring a crazy comeback, 5-2 down. They win it 6-5. Minnesota, their bread and butter Search and Destroy. They lose it again, and then we go into the control, and it just felt like they completely lost the plot here, right? I mean, Paris were completely swinging. Classic had a great couple of plays early on, and yeah, we go to the round 3, and honestly, it wasn't particularly close, right? This map, by any means, it was a 3-0 comfortable for the Paris Legion in the control, and they close out the series in a 3-0 fashion. There is a lot to say about this, right? Because Minnesota, complete collapse. I mean, they're up 5-2 in the Search and Destroy, getting back in the series to not even win a single round, or like, well, a single round of Search or a round of Control after that in the series. You've got to look at this team and think, what is even the option? Paris are certainly good, no doubt about that. They're a very scary team right now, but Minnesota looking pretty much disastrous, right? We thought this team would be solid going into the season. We expected it to be something of a significant upgrade over their team last year. That is clearly not the case at the present time. They're going to have a real think about what they do here. And the real question mark is, for me with Minnesota, they do not have a substitute right now. They don't have someone who they can easily slot in like Toronto tried to do, and like yeah, Los Angeles Thieves supposedly have, with Venom coming in, and Drazah's also sitting there. They're in a similar situation with Seattle Surge, where their coach is their technically signed substitute. So realistically, they can't do anything for at least the near future. And well, maybe they'll stick this team out through stage 2, but you've got to think that something's got to give. But what even gives, right? What change do you even make with that team in theory? It's very much not clear what you should do, but something's got to give, surely, if you're losing a series in this fashion. Intrigued to hear your thoughts on all the drama of today in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, I'd greatly appreciate a like on the video. It really helps out the YouTube algorithm to know you enjoyed this content. Other people like you may enjoy this content as well, and upgrade the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you for watching as always, take care, and I will see you next time.